Hey, good day, federal employees, as we wait for the nationwide RIF decision, at least as of when I'm filming this. Let's unpack the sleeper Supreme Court ruling from last week that I think is a helpful decision. That's Kennedy versus Braidwood Management Incorporated, decided June 27th. I think it shows the Supreme Court actually protecting government to run as it should, which is a good thing to help. Could this be the same voting bloc, I wonder, that would keep the RIFs in place if that happens? I think so. But again, I could also see the Supreme Court allowing the RIFs to resume. So please double tap, share with your colleagues, and let's discuss a sleeper SCOTUS case that could impact parts of your agency. This one is for the nerds. So let's talk about the case. Who brought the fight? Well, Braidwood Management, a Christian-owned wellness clinic in Texas, joined by several like-minded individuals and backed by the Alliance Defending Freedom, refused to pay for HIV prevention drugs, think PrEP, and other no-cost preventative services in the employee health plan. They said the Affordable Care Act, ACA, forced them to subsidize sin, but their main legal weapon was structural, an attack on the administrative state itself. Their structural gambit? Well, the ACA makes any service that the 16-member U.S. Preventative Services Task Force creates an A or B automatically free to patients. Plaintiffs argue these volunteer scientists are principal officers because Congress called the task force independent and gave its recommendations binding effect. Under the Constitution, they say, these officers must have been nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate, steps Congress never required here. Nothing happened like that to Elon Musk, right? If Braidwood were white, every task force triggered coverage rule would have collapsed and the president could gut various task forces simply by refusing to appoint people. So why that would kneecap government? Had the theory prevailed, scores of expert advisory panels trying to do the right thing, from federal law enforcement accreditation boards to OPM pay comparability committees, would suddenly need president action or Senate confirmation, or they would lose authority altogether, even where Congress wanted action and the agency had taken action. So agencies could no longer count on nimble, evidence-driven advice and free cancer screenings, vaccines, statins, and more for roughly 150 million insured Americans, including federal officers and their families, could vanish overnight. So the court's answer, actually helpful for the agencies. In a 6-3 opinion by Justice Kavanaugh, the court held that task force members are inferior officers because the HHS secretary can fire them at will and block the recommendations for at least a year. Titles don't matter, a clear chain of command does. This might be the same block, again, from the Supreme Court, these justices that would uphold the nationwide RIF case, which could drop at any time. By the way, it is a shadow docket case, so it could even drop with a bad decision for federal employees that goes unexplained, which is outrageous to me, but it's been happening. It could happen. In any event, once we hear on the nationwide RIF case, we'll share our thoughts. In the meantime, everyone, please take care, support each other. Hope you have a good day. There is some hope out there, right? So the Supreme Court is doing a solid to the agencies with the Kennedy versus Braidwood case, and hopefully they do so as well in the nationwide RIF case. Thank you, everybody. Take care and have a great day.